What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Story Motors Podcast. I am Robert.
I'm Mike.
There we go. Actually pointed the right way. Fucking first try.
Beautiful.
Pointed the right way over here.
Beautiful.
Mike, how you doing?
Better now that you're here.
Not like we've been on this chat for 20 minutes already.
Nope.
Like
we've been
we log into the computers and we just record. That's it. Have not spoken to this guy for 2 weeks now.
Yep, that's it. That's all.
So,
nothing.
nothing at all.
Yep.
Mikey, what are you drinking there?
I am drinking a $2 PBR Tall Boy. Shout out to Harmon's. 2 for $4. Look at a variety of cheap Tall Boys. And oh my. Riced on a cracker.
Yep, that was right by the mic, and that was very loud.
Robert just cracked open an old school oil can.
It's a 32-ounce Miller High Life, the champagne of beers.
Yeah.
Also 2 for $4.
I remember when it used to be the champagne of bottled beers.
So this is the buttcock. This is the beer that my mom drinks.
Nice.
So anytime I go to my parents' house just to say hi, after work. I just go in, I'm like, hey everybody. And mom was like, hey, you want a beer? I'm like, yeah. She's like, grab me one too. And then
and she throws you this 40-gallon oil drum.
Now, if my mom was just like fucking ripping goddamn 40 ounces and just be like, what's up? You want one? Yeah.
Just pounding 40s.
She does get the 12-pack of bottles, so.
Well, hell yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah. Mikey, it is good to see you, my friend.
Always a pleasure seeing you. Did anything eventful happen in my absence?
No, nothing. No, we just, had a nice quiet time.
Okay.
I was by myself. I talked about video games because this is a video game podcast, so nothing else happened.
Yep. Nothing else happened. Nobody spoke of Green Day. We're good. I'm happy.
Nope. All video games all the time.
Yep, that's us. Staying
unrelated.
on topic 1,000%. Oh,
unrelated.
What do you got?
I did record a debut episode of the Discograph podcast with my friend Gage Luke, who was on this show one time. Completely unrelated to this, though. So,
okay,
yeah.
Perfect.
I think for whatever reason there was a glitch and it got posted on our YouTube page here. I don't know why.
It happens.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, but
happens. It's fine.
But,
whatever.
Yeah. That was a fun ass time.
It seemed like it.
Yeah. I love talking games with you, but I also love talking music, and especially pop punk.
Hey, turned it on when we got back from Grand Junction. Turned it on, started watching it with my girlfriend, and then we got a bit too into the substances. So it happens.
It happens.
I'm just a silly little guy sometimes.
Once again, this is 2 weeks ago now, because this is going up on the 8th of August.
Yep. Jesus Christ.
Forgot about that immediately.
Yeah. Time. It's a concept we don't fully understand.
Who cares? Well, 2 weeks ago is when we did this. Speaking of, since we're already on the topic, how was your trip? I saw pictures of 2 of my favorite people having a good time.
It was great. Annie was mighty chuffed that you said that she's one of your favorites, so
I never lie.
Still pretty hyped about that. It was good. Did not get any Grand Junction or Colorado themed stuff to bring home, but I did overpay for a couple of vintage lighters. Gold Winston cigarettes one.
Well, yeah, I think I saw the picture. And then what was the other one? Was the other one a PBR one?
The other one was Budweiser.
Okay.
Yes. So I paid $35 for that thing that I could have got on eBay for 10 in 100% working condition.
Or you could have bought a brand new one at fucking Walmart and I could have written Budweiser on it for you. For $25.
Yep. For real. But whatever. It was a good time. We got out of Salt Lake for a bit. Saw some sites, had some amazing food. I will say shout out to 2 places in particular. The Goat and Clover on Main Street in Grand Junction. It is like UK food, so it's not just English food, but there's also like Irish, Welsh, and
Okay,
Scottish stuff
fair
on the
enough, fair
menu.
enough.
Yep. They have whiskey flights, which we attempted to order, but the waitress never brought us a menu, so she kind of saved us from ourselves. Um, yeah, they have a fantastic homemade gravy, so 10 out of 10, highly recommend. And there's a place a block west, something, a block away from Main Street. It's called the Feisty Pint. It was amazing as well. They've got a build your own burger thing, and you can get a pound of chicken wings for like $12.
Bone in or bone out?
Bone in.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So,
Just
that's
wondering
there.
how much the bones weigh.
They're bird bones, so they're hollow, so they're much lighter than, say, your or my bones.
That's fair. That's fair.
Mhm.
That's fair.
But,
Well,
yeah.
glad to have you back. The last week when you got back,
Yes.
yeah,
We're having a hard time with time here.
yeah. We're
If you
we're
can't tell.
we're recording 2 episodes this week because I am going out of town next week, so we're kind of pre-recording something, but they're going up out of order from
Yeah,
when
so
we're
when you
recording them.
So we're recording this first, but when you hear this, Robert will be out of town,
Yes.
and this will be the second episode that we're recording this week.
Yes.
The one we're recording last Wednesday is the one you heard last Thursday.
Yeah.
Attention all athletes. There are minor scheduling adjustments.
It's a disregard that what we just said. This is episode 25, and then next week is 26. And we'll say some other stuff in this episode about this not being the right week. We're wrong yesterday. We're right today. So this is this week's. This is August 1st's episode. Then not August 8th's episode. So that will be on August 8th. So you know what? Forget what we said earlier in the podcast or later in the podcast. Listen to me right now, and we're good.
I feel like I need a whiteboard.
Yeah,
Like you just like plot this stuff out.
the fucking it's always sunny meme of just moving things around.
Yep.
Yeah, I will be out of town for about a week, and Mike, I'm not giving Mike the opportunity to take over the way that I did because I saw how that went.
He's seen my years of podcasting before. He knows what exactly is going to happen, and good for
He's
him.
gonna drink a lot.
He's right. He's right to not give me the keys.
But this week we are here for 2 episodes today. We are going to be talking about something kind of fun and kind of silly.
Yeah.
The last week's episode, you will have heard it by now, obviously. So, but
Yeah, and huge thanks to Jeff Microsoft for coming on. It was great to have him as a guest.
Yeah, it was so crazy to have Jeff Microsoft on last week, and he just fucking confirmed the next Xbox Series X is coming out in November already.
Right,
$200, 88 fucking 100 teraflops.
It's just
Crazy.
It can actually go the speed of light. The Xbox itself,
Yeah,
like it's
and it makes you toast. Like fucking what?
Yeah.
God,
Brilliant.
perfect machine.
But for real though, it was that I'm gonna go out on a limb and assume that it's going to be a great episode, and I'll just because this is coming out later. It was great to have Brett, aka Jim Tasty, on. Love that dude.
Yeah.
Huge fan. One of the few streamers I've actually somebody bigger than me who invited me to do stuff, like co-stream with him. So that was awesome. So big shout out to him. Thanks for the opportunities that you've given me, and thank you for coming on the show. We appreciate it, buddy.
Love you, Brett. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. If you
Love you, buddy.
missed that episode, that is last week's where we hanging out with Brett, Jim Tasty. Last name? I don't know his last name, but call him
Don't
Jim
know his last
Tasty,
name.
and he's too fucking good at battle royals and just shooters and video games in general.
Yep.
So,
I tried not to lay into him too much for being an Austin FC fan.
oh god, I mean it's tough enough for him. you know?
It really is. It's hard to. I try not to punch down. You know, I pride
Yeah.
myself on not doing that. So
Yeah.
yeah,
We'll see.
some
We'll see.
restraint.
But yeah, that is last week's episode. Today's episode,
Oh
just, yeah, once again, something silly. We are
yeah.
talking about some of the weirdest, silliest, coolest, awesomest, dumbest gaming peripherals that either we've heard of or we've actually owned.
My list is entirely stuff that I've owned.
My list, so I went to look for one thing for my list that I had in
Yeah.
my mind, and then it reminded me of another thing that was similar, and then another thing that was similar, and then another thing that was similar. So
Yeah.
I just have a shitload of controllers to talk about, and then a
Yeah,
couple other
that's
things.
totally-
Yeah, a couple other
That's
things.
totally fine.
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yep.
So, Mikey, should we get started here?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's see here. What should we start with?
I mean, it is whatever you want, buddy. You're in the driver's seat. I'm just over here, passenger princess, crushing a tall boy.
I don't want to fucking start dictation. Fuck off, Siri. Let's see.
Siri,
Here.
take a memo.
Fuck you.
Siri, take a letter.
No. So this is this first thing that you popped up on here, the NES Advantage.
Yes. So
This
when
thing
I was
Actually,
yeah,
just looks
this
cool.
it is cool. I had it up until a few years ago. Lost in a move. That is a true tragedy. But no, the NES Advantage is a like kind of fight stick joystick controller thing for the NES. And this was an original Nintendo thing. So first party peripheral. But if you remember, the NES only had the D-pad start select A and B.
Yeah.
So when you put that on a fight stick thing, there's a lot of real estate there. So, you know. But it was cool. So you had the ability to just like switch from player 1 to player 2 via a little slider
Not
thing.
bad. Not bad.
You had turbo buttons, and those little knobs there adjusted how turbo the turbo was. And then you also had a
So it looks like, so do the turbo buttons, you just like press them in and they stay, and that's what does the turbo? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Okay.
and there's a little red LED that lights up when you when it registers a hit. So you can just hold down A or B and crank that knob like a fucking DJ. Pretty great. And then there's that slow button, which does the opposite of turbo. So slows down your movements.
Yeah.
So-
I did not have one of these, actually.
Yeah,
It looks
I had-
familiar, but I mean, it looks like a fighting stick, you know?
Yeah, it's like a proto fighting stick. That's pretty much all that it is. And yeah, it was cool. I had one. I had it for the longest time. I still have my NES kicking around, but yeah, tragically do not have the NES Advantage anymore. So I'm at a disadvantage when I am playing Nintendo.
Specialized. Oh, and they made a Super Advantage, but they don't have it here on Wiki. Yeah, arcade style controller manufactured by ASCIIware, released by Nintendo. Yeah, so it's. I mean, you don't see. Now outside of like Microsoft and Sony doing the oh shit, what are they called?
Like it's the Elite, the Pro, the whatevers.
Well, no, not even that. The so like the Microsoft one is like the pad, and you can like move things around. Shit.
Is it like that big accessibility controller?
That's accessibility controller. Yeah. So
yeah,
Microsoft,
that thing's amazing.
Sony has one too. I don't know if Nintendo has one, but like
I don't think they do. But again, that's one of those. I don't think they necessarily need it as much as the other ones, just because with the Switch you can do a lot of like motion control stuff. So which is awesome. So
yeah. But I mean, you just don't see like first party companies putting out different things like this.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah, because I mean, like the closest thing you have are like the Xbox Elite controllers, the Sony whatever the hell they're calling it, where you can get like taller joysticks. You know, you can get a better D-pad, but it's still the form factor.
A controller. Yeah.
It comes in a cool case, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, nah, you're not wowing everybody in second grade breaking this thing out.
You bring that to second grade, you're losing those fucking back paddles. That's for goddamn sure.
Mm-hmm.
You know? It's the NES Advantage.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So, you know what? Let's dive into my list. This was the first thing, and it's not on the page yet. I've switched pages, and I'm going to go back here now. This was the first thing that I thought of.
This thing is amazing.
Hold on. Just fuck it. You know what? Let's just go here. You know, let's just click on the link. There we go.
Beauty.
The Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller.
God.
Look at this
We used
fucking
to be
thing.
a country.
We used to be a country.
Jesus Christ.
And if I remember correctly, they did have two. They had one for the GameCube, and then they made another one when the game came out on PS2. But yeah, I believe our friend Nick had one of these, or he has one. I don't know if he's ever used it, but I'm pretty sure he did have one at one point. Major Resident Evil guy.
Jesus.
But
Nick?
yeah, the
Question.
collector's editions of Resident Evil 4. The controller, based on extensive playtests, Newbie Text claims that its chainsaw controller actually improves the Resident Evil 4 experiences, are false.
I beg to differ.
Yeah. Yeah, so the controller, all the controller buttons are just here on the top.
Yeah.
Except for, I
Well,
believe
okay,
there's-
that does seem like it might be a bit of a problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think there's triggers and stuff here. And I'm pretty sure this actually, the chainsaw bit actually does move.
God damn it.
We used
See,
to have
remember
fun.
remember when you used to like pre-order a special edition and you got a dumb thing like that? You know?
I have my Starfield watch.
That's great. I'm happy for you. I
Just
really
a
am.
watch. It is not a
No.
controller. I also have some. Can you see that?
Yeah?
It's confetti.
God damn it.
Yeah. I had a pocket full of confetti after the Blink show. Made sure I came home with it.
Attaboy.
Yeah. Yeah, the fucking... This... Insane. Prototypes of the controller included a sound chip which did play the chainsaw sound effects. However, that was not in the commercially released models due to concerns it would interfere with the gameplay experience. Because God
How?
forbid...
Yeah, God forbid your chainsaw controller interfered with your gaming experience.
Oh, you know what? I felt like I was in the world, but then I heard the chainsaw in a place where there was no chainsaw.
Took me out of it.
Took me right the fuck out of it.
Never went back to Resident Evil after that.
Never. But yeah, that so that was the first thing that I was thinking of for this episode for peripherals. And then that led me down a bit of a rabbit hole,
Which I'm here for 1,000%.
which reminded me of these.
The Dragon Quest.
And they're
Slime.
plural because they've come out from multiple fucking Dragon Quest games, and they just sell them. These are
Yeah.
also controllers. Have you seen these?
They are. I have. I've held one.
Yeah.
It is the goofiest fucking thing.
So before we go to the picture of the controller, just watcher, listener, well, watcher, I mean, I guess, because listener, you're not fucking seeing this shit, David.
Listener, listener, grab your phone. You can multitask.
Yeah, you're driving, it's fine.
It's fine. Who cares? It's America. Just assuming all of our listeners are in America.
I'm pretty sure like 90% are. And then there's like one person in another country who turns us on YouTube for a second and is like, wait a minute, they're not naked.
YouTube. What's YouTube like in other countries?
Better.
Clearly.
But yeah. So before, just picture in your mind, you see this thing. If you've never heard of this controller, in your mind, try to think what you think the controllers look like, the actual control pieces, because this is a full-size PlayStation controller, has all the buttons and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Have it in your mind. 3, 2, 1. Yep.
Now imagine it's blue.
Imagine it's blue. Yeah. Just little testes down here. How do you hold this thing? You're like...
Yeah, it's weird. It's like holding a bowl. Like, it's the most awkward thing ever. Like, yeah, there's no, like, ergonomics did not come into play. It is just
Not
so
even
awkward
a little
to hold
bit.
this thing.
So now that we've seen it for listeners, all of the controls are actually on the bottom of the slime. With the D-pad, or not the D-pads, the sticks being kind of right in the center as little testicles that are plopped on, plopping out.
Or tiny little feet.
Or tiny little feet, if you want to be weird about it.
And
then the button, it's
for
just
our freak fans.
essentially the controls just on a flat thing on the bottom of this fucking. It's does not look ergonomic, does not look comfortable at all.
No. God, it's horrifying.
This is
God.
And look at the stand.
That is a PS4
Yep.
slime. Because
you
there's
have the
that
touchpad.
big goofy touchpad.
Yep. Which just means you're rubbing its asshole as you're playing Dragon Quest and tickling its balls.
Imagine playing any other game with that controller. Imagine playing Grand Theft Auto. And just the cops yelling at you through the slime's asshole. You know what would be even better if that one had the little LED like the updated PS4 controllers had? So you're just getting chased by the cop and this thing's asshole is just flashing red and blue.
But yeah,
my god.
These controllers, which once again multiple, they've made a few different ones.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like for PS2, and then is this one? It might be PS3. I don't know. And then PS4 for that one at least.
Amazing.
Yeah. So the Dragon Quest slime controllers reminded me of these.
Oh.
It's fucking get off of the goddamn screen. Yeah, so these are Final Fantasy X2. They're based on the tiny bee guns that the main character has, and these are also full size controllers. So these two guns have all of the buttons for a PS2 controller.
What?
Let's see here. Yeah, let's pull up this picture here. So you got, I think it's only got one pad here, but then you have the D-pad on the back of the other controller. In one of the other pictures, there you have like little things that you clip off here for display. And then all of the other buttons are, I believe, like on the triggers of the gun. Yeah, I wasn't able to find like a really good picture of like the buttons, but you can see here like there's this trigger and then there's a little button down here. So I'm assuming essentially the way that it's set up is that each gun has the buttons from one side of the DualShock 2. And you have movement, you have the D-pad and everything, and then when you do one of the special moves in the game where you just, I can't remember exactly what it's called, it's like trigger happy or something, you just pull on the trigger of the gun to make her shoot faster. So, yeah, these only came out in Japan, but when I was looking up the chainsaw ones, I thought that it was a Resident Evil special edition. I just remember like, oh yeah, there was a gun controller, and I thought it was a Resident Evil collection or like special edition thing for a while. While I was I kept typing in fucking Resident Evil, nothing, and then I went to text our friend Nick, because I figure if anybody knows about the Resident Evil Special Edition controller, it's going to be Nick. And then as I was typing it out, and I typed Resident Evil, it was like, wait, that was Final Fantasy for some reason.
That is...
Yeah, I'm not going to pull this one up on screen. It's just a tiny, tiny picture that we already saw. I thought it zoomed in a little bit more.
No.
But yeah, it does have some information here. So the guns are called the Tiny B, or the Tiny Bs. Yuna's Tiny B gun controller is a piece of merchandise for Final Fantasy X2. Despite appearances, it is not in any way a light gun. So that's the other thing. It's not a light gun. It's just a controller split in two in the shape of a gun.
Huh.
Two guns. Yeah, functions as a normal PS2 DualShock 2 controller, but fashioned into a gun-like shape. Players use the left gun to control the left side of the controller, the right gun to control the right side. Pulling the triggers cause Yuna to fire her gunner guns at the enemies in battle. Yeah. It's again only in Japan. I think I read about this in like EGM or something. And then
Hell yeah.
And then the last one in my controller rabbit hole.
Menagerie of controllers.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I remember
Onimusha
this thing.
3 Demon Siege. Popular PS2 game. And the controller is a sword, as you can see. It's got a little bit here that's just like a plastic sword piece that clips on. The actual controller is the helm here. Okay. And look at this. Fucking, how are you...
Yeah.
How am I doing
You're
shit
not.
with this?
Yeah, no. Like, it's just insane.
The only game I could think of that would be potentially easy to play with this, or even remotely comfortable to play with this, fishing.
Seriously.
Like some sort of fishing game.
Like a Bass Pro.
But yeah, you've got the controller here. This little nub here, there's like a plastic sword sheath that goes on top of it to make it look like the sword. But yeah, fucking... And recent sales have ranged from $300 to $425 for working boxed examples. Like, fucking every look at let me pull up this list really quick. Resident Evil 4 chainsaw controller, PS2 and GameCube. Dragon Quest Slime controller, first came out PS2. Final Fantasy X2 Tiny B, PS2. Where have we gone wrong?
Man, I don't know. Like, it used to be, you would get, like, you would get some, like, actual goofy, like, peripheral. You know? Like, that was the top tier. It wasn't getting a little dumb fucking statue or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Like I said,
Now,
we used to be a country, man.
Used to be a
Used
country.
to be a country.
Starfire, Light Blaster, third party, Sega Dreamcast controller. Mike, you used to have this one as well?
I had two of them, actually. Used to play
Okay.
House of the Dead a lot on my Dreamcast. And, yeah, these were shockingly, like, the only ones I could find back in, 99, 2000. And also, I remember them being rather affordable.
Yeah.
And actually pretty good, like, feeling in the hand. So,
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it came out on $9,999 on launch day in the U.S. for $30.
hell yeah. Yeah. Back when $30 meant something.
Let's see here.
But yeah, I got two of these. Got House of the Dead. House of the Dead 2, I believe, actually. Yeah, and used to play it with my buddies who would come over. It was a great time, actually having light guns instead of trying to do it with a controller. But the funniest thing was, it still had like all of the Dreamcast buttons on it in various places. That's why it has two triggers for the trigger buttons on the controller. So, yeah, I would always inevitably get to the point where it's just like, yeah, we're going to try and play an actual game with this thing. And, nope, never worked out.
Never really worked out, huh?
Surprise, surprise. Yeah, but no, it was cool. It looked cool. Yeah, in some games that forward trigger you would just hit that and it would reload. You wouldn't have to do the shoot off screen thing to
Okay.
reload.
Okay.
So, yeah, no, it was awesome. You know,
I want to point something out here real quick.
yeah.
Black Squirrel posted this photo of the Dreamcast light gun almost 10 years to the day of September 11th.
Oh man,
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
Yeah. So,
He should have
and
waited.
then almost like 2 years later, you know what?
Another one.
Just past the anniversary, let's go ahead and post a different picture.
It would have been perfect if he like just hit it on the anniversary.
And this last one was posted 6 years ago by the same dude. Are you just taking new pictures or finding new pictures? Like,
I gotta assume he's. I mean, that bottom one, the first one he uploaded
yeah.
on almost the 10th anniversary, that's a stock photo.
Yeah. This second one, maybe the third one. That looks like just somebody took a
That's
picture of
clearly
theirs.
him. The third one,
Yeah.
it seems like he finally got his lighting setup dialed.
He's like, I'm gonna redo this. I'm gonna
I can do
prove to
better, I can do
everybody
better,
that
I
I
can
can
do
do a
better.
picture right. You know.
Oh man, God! But yeah, no, this was like, man, you remember back in the day, light guns were the thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, those were some heady times, some heady days.
Fucking one of the first goddamn games that a lot of us played was with a quasi light gun. You know, fucking
Duck Hunt,
Duck
baby.
Hunt. You know,
Fucking dog, man.
fucking piece of shit dog.
Fuck him.
Let's see here.
Well, I gotta queue up another Batman movie.
That is fine. That is fine. This is something that
Ooh, Batman and Robin coming in hot, baby.
the fucking VMU.
Oh God,
Talk about
yeah.
peripherals that are silly and perfect and amazing and dumb. VMU.
This was the visual memory unit, aka the reason that you had 2 slots on your Dreamcast controller.
AKA probably the reason that the Dreamcast controller had the worst cord placement of any fucking controller being at the bottom of it. It's garbage, and it was terrible.
But it did have under the hump for the memory unit and the VMU, there was a little place where you could stick the cord.
Yeah,
It had like
still,
little nubs to tuck it up in there. Yeah, no, it was terrible. I hated
still.
it. Yeah, no, it was cool. Like, I had, I think, 1 or 2 of like the dumb little mini games.
Mhm.
Yeah, like
No,
it was,
I remember when I got my Dreamcast, it was, I think it was either shortly after or right before they officially announced, hey, we're done. Because we got it we got the Sonic bundle with, I believe, Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 and the Dreamcast and a VMU for like $30. Brand new, because they were just fucking
God damn.
getting rid of everything. My brother also got a Dreamcast bundle, and it was the Sports 2K bundle. So we both got our different like Dreamcasts for Christmas, and they were like $30 each.
Damn it.
Yeah, but I remember the Dreamcast, and I had the Chow Garden game for Sonic Adventure 2 that I would play on it, and like bring my little chows out and do shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would take this thing to school and just, like flex on people. It was great. You know?
Let's see.
Yeah, no. It was the dumbest little thing, but also the best little thing.
It was a combination of a PS2 memory card and a Tamagotchi.
It really was.
You know.
And you needed something to save on, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But like Sega did this dumb thing, which they are just fantastic about, doing these dumb fucking things that are actually super awesome. Yeah, like it wasn't just a thing you would just like stick in your controller and forget about. Like you could take it out and you could do other things.
And like, so look at this. Where are we at? Where are we at? Resident Evil series for multiple games. So when it's in the controller, it was doing something, and then you could take it out, and some of them had mini games. So they didn't all do something on each. But like for the Resident Evil series here, you'd have it plugged into the controller, and it would have your health condition right there on the controller instead of you having to like press pause or anything,
Yeah.
which I believe was probably on the screen still, but just a cool thing. Ready to rumble, punch counts, hit percentage, semen microphone status, and organize and raise food for semen.
Mm-hmm.
So you would
That'll
take
make
it out to organize, raise food, and then when you plug it in and you go back to play the game, you would have that to use in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And then in the game, it would be like the microphone status here. But yeah, Sonic Adventure 2 this is the one that I did, the Chow Adventure 2 more. I didn't really get into the Chow stuff in Sonic Adventure, but Sonic Adventure 2, 100% did. Loved it.
Oh yeah, dude, it was so great. Just this dumb little thing.
Yeah.
Man, yeah, just imagine if your memory card actually did something other than be a fucking memory card.
Yeah.
And this was in the day where you had to have a memory card. Like there was no built-in storage.
Yeah,
it had to be offloaded somewhere. So
it's like weird when you think about it that the Dreamcast was the first one to have like the built-in internet connection and like the Ethernet port and everything. Or not the Ethernet port, it was like, but didn't have a hard drive.
No.
So
it did not.
Like, which I'm just like, it's kind of... It's kind of weird that you would think that they would be like, let's do this, like we're thinking of the save thing first. No, the first thing was online, and now that everything's online, now the games aren't just fucking tiny things and you can save your little thing on one little fucking stick. Like, you have to have a hard drive in there.
I don't need a 2 megabyte, memory card to save my fucking 120 hours of Final Fantasy VII. My God.
Speaking of, this is just an Amazon page. These giant...
this is a memory card. This massive memory card is something I legitimately owned when I was a kid, when I was just rocking out with my PlayStation 1. I kept complaining that I didn't have, enough memory cards because I kept filling them up. I had like 3.
Yeah.
So this thing... it has this giant bulge on there, and that was expanded memory. So it effectively had like, I can't remember how many like memory cards it actually had in there.
Yeah.
But it was one of those like you had to like hold down start and select and both of the shoulder buttons on each side to bring up the selection thing. And you'd have to like very carefully let go of either the right side or the left side to advance or go back a page. Or go back a memory card. So I'm fairly confident there's like... I've still got mine kicking around. I'm not sure if it's still alive or not.
Yeah, there's a good chance it's dead. But
oh man, a lot of my stuff's just dead dead.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you there are some serious like Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, like deep playthroughs that I forgot what number they were on. I had to go back and start over.
Yeah. I never got one of these. I just had like the basic ass memory cards.
Oh man, I had those for days.
But I was also when the PS1 came out and when I was playing it, I wasn't at the point yet because I was still fairly young. I was under 10, so I was still fairly young. I wasn't really like playing games that needed to be saved all that much, other than like WWF Warzone and Crash Bandicoot. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Oh yeah, no, I was
PS2
like,
though. I had a bunch of memory cards.
Shockingly, I didn't have that. I didn't have as many PS2 memory cards.
Really?
I think I only had like 1 or 2. I never had an official like Sony first party whatever, like memory card, which is a little weird, and I kind of want to splurge and just get one just fucking because.
PS1 memory card reader from AliExpress. Did you have one of these, or did you just find it?
Okay, so this is something I had something similar back in the day. So I couldn't find exactly what I had. Mm-hmm. It was this weird, like, semi-transparent, like, purple hump thing that you would plug into your computer, and then you could put your PlayStation 1 memory card in there, and you could just copy the save file to your computer and then get rid of it off of your memory card and free up space that way. You could also download other people's saves. Like you could put them up on like an like FTP server or whatever and download somebody's like save for, if you like picked up a game and you're just like, oh, I rented a game from wherever and I don't want to, I want to see the end of this thing because I'm never going to rent it again.
Mm-hmm.
You could play through as much as you wanted to and then go and spend 2 hours downloading somebody's save file from the end of the game and see the end of the game. Like, it was wild that way.
I remember seeing stuff like that. I never had one of these, but I had that's another one that could have pulled up here. The Game Sharks and the action replays for PS2 and stuff. And I remember on those sites there were the links to be like, oh yeah, and you can download saves here, but I didn't have that thing.
Man. I almost put the Game Shark on here, but I'm like, that wasn't like too crazy or wacky.
No.
But seeing what people are doing with them now is kind of intense.
What are people doing with them now?
Like, they're like booting custom software on a PS1.
Okay.
So they can play like region-free games without having to like crack the thing open and solder like 10 feet of wire on there to defeat the region checks. Oh, God, yeah. So with my PS2, I had the network adapter.
Mm-hmm.
But my PS2 was nowhere near where our modem and router was. So I had to get creative. So I paid way too much money back in the day for this dumb, like, Linksys wireless G game adapter. Yep. It was terrible. It was slow. But it did kind of work.
It kind of worked. Ooh, one other person has this in their cart right now.
Well, good for them. I hope they buy it. Yeah, no, like it wasn't. It was not great. It was not great. But then again, online gaming with the PlayStation 2 back in the heyday of that thing wasn't anything to write home about. So it was just me like playing SOCOM and just like yelling at somebody and then getting yelled at. So it was something.
Yeah.
But
God damn.
Yeah, no. Dude, it's like this is a trip down like memory lane and showing the children how we had to do it. Like this is what we had to deal with.
Hold on, let me see if because that just reminded me of one that I had to get later on. Let me see if I've got this on here though.
Oh, I had that top one.
Yeah, this right here. So this was the official Xbox 360 wireless networking adapter before they started putting Wi-Fi chips in the 360s.
Yep.
So for the older models, obviously. I mean, this one's broken because why the fuck aren't you taking good care of your shit?
Seriously.
Grandpa and son's twisted deals. That's disgusting. But yeah, this just like popped onto the back of it and then plugged in with the USB. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did not have the official Xbox One. I had a third-party one. But it was the same deal. You pulled a little thing off of the back, like a little clip, and then that revealed the things you would snap that into.
Yeah.
And there you go. And you had to point the antenna up. Otherwise, you wouldn't get good reception.
I remember getting one of these because I worked at Game Crazy at the time.
Oh.
And like I think somebody turned one in, like somebody traded one in, so I got it for super super cheap.
Hell yeah!
Oh god, these things. So, fucking walk me through these.
Okay, so I never paid for these. Like these showed up in like a box of something, but and I didn't have like the super tall ones or whatever, but these thumbstick grip things. These weird rubberized things that you would slip over the top of the thumbsticks on whatever controller you had. And the theory behind them is like you get the little taller ones
Mm-hmm.
and they make it easier for you to like do things in, FPSs. Like you would go just own that Call of Duty lobby without having to put in any work because suddenly like your movements are quicker or whatever. Or like your thumbs wouldn't slip off in a heated session of gaming.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I got mine for free. I just put them on my 360 controller because I'm just like,
They're
colors.
here.
These look cool.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, were they hopeful at all?
No, I mean
Or were they just kind of like there?
They were just kind of there. I mean, I don't
Okay.
remember them being particularly useful, but they did. I like them because it added a pop of color.
Fair.
Like
fair.
just two big hunks of color on. I had them on my. I always have a black Xbox controller. Like, no matter what, I always have one. I need to get a black one for my Series S. I've been sleeping on that one, but for my 360, I had a black one. For my one black one, and then I would just put those on there, and it would just be like, oh, these are like a nice bright blue. I enjoy that. It's nicer to look at.
I think there's actually a new company, like a newer company that does these.
It's an Alibaba.
No, like it's I think I saw them on Twitter being like, hey, we're a new company that does these like grip things and we want to sponsor, content creators. So I'm not gonna shit talk them. But
If the check clears, we'll take them.
yeah, I don't care if the check is a fucking $1, I'll fucking use it. I don't give a shit.
Hey man, I'm playing PC games with a controller, so hey, random company, I'm here. That'll sell 'em.
This I don't know if you had one of these.
Oh, I did not, but my buddy
Yeah.
did. Oh my
The
god, it was
messenger kit for the Xbox 360 came with the worst fucking headset.
Oh, I still have that terrible ass headset.
Oh yeah.
I never had a good headset for the 360.
I don't think they really made one.
No,
God, these fucking zoomed in pictures are great.
they're
So
fucking wonderful.
yeah, this thing just popped onto the bottom of the Xbox 360 controller, like the original Xbox 360 controllers that didn't have they didn't have a like a 2.5 plug at the bottom. They had whatever their fucking proprietary shit was. So one of the perks of having this on your controller is you'd plug it in, and then you would have that, regular audio jack that you could plug this very shitty headset into, or any other headset into that had that. It's a phenomenal picture, by the way.
It has mold on it.
But honestly, like for me, I bought one of these. Probably rarely ever used the keyboard unless I was playing like. I think the only time I ever really used it was playing like WWE games, and I was creating a character and I was like typing in the name. And that's all I can remember.
Oh yeah.
But it just for some reason made the controller just feel perfect in my hand, having this on the bottom of it and just making it like a fucking square thing that I'm holding was just perfect. And then when the Xbox One came out and they had the Xbox One version of this, I bought one for that controller. Not the same. Just
Not.
yeah.
Yeah. Can't catch lightning in a bottle twice.
No. But yeah, this thing was a staple on my controllers. And I would buy a new controller if it broke, and I would put this on here. Had the little MySpace button here. Yeah.
Such a simpler time.
Yeah.
Where did we go wrong? Where did
Got rid of chainsaw controllers,
Seriously. No, I remember my buddy had it, and he's just like, he's a super nice dude. Like, he's always like quiet, polite, well-mannered guy. But man, he would talk unholy amounts of shit playing online. He was just in chat doing that. And then there I was with one of my terrible mics, just like getting absolutely destroyed in a COD lobby, screaming, "You talking shit?" as I'm getting fucking blown 3 ways from Sunday. Playing RPG, a Claymore, and a dude with a Barrett 50.
I had a friend who would play like Call of Duty online, and like his way of getting back at people that were like being like, oh, fuck you, blah blah blah, fuck you. He's like, fuck yeah, you will. You're gonna fuck the shit out of me, aren't you? And that would completely shut them down real quick.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You don't know what to do with that.
Yeah.
God, I've got one dumb Call of Duty story. I was playing with a friend of mine and some of her friends.
Mm-hmm.
She was just like, "Oh, Mike plays. He's good. Like let him play with us one night." And so I'm just getting destroyed. Like these guys are just talking shit on me. They're hating it. And my friend's just like, "Mike, you just got to play your game. Just stick to your game and you'll do all right." And I'm like, "You sure?" She's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay." And then it was just a lot of spawn camping and noob tubing.
Hey, that's your game.
Really turned it around for the team. And she's like, "Maybe don't do that." I'm like,
We're
what do you
winning.
want?
That's all that fucking matters. What the fuck do you want?
What do you want?
You know?
Yeah, I know our collective inboxes are filling up with various hate-filled messages. Yours probably worse than mine. But listen, we're winning. So
I feel like we can't talk about game peripherals without the savior of the video game market.
the patron saint.
The patron
goofy
saint.
ass.
So
Goofy ass like
the ROB,
peripherals.
robotic operating buddy.
Rob.
Woo. Did not prove to be popular, leading Nintendo to cancel it.
Why wasn't it popular?
Because it was shit. But so do you know like the history of ROB, the Rob?
No.
And why it was created?
It came out in the 80s, so I assume everybody was like robot crazy. I mean,
nope.
Fuck, remember Rocky 3 or Rocky 4 where he fights the Russian and there's just a fucking robot in there?
Yeah. So
no.
Why the fuck? Why is this an expanded? See full size image, same size.
Why?
What are we doing here?
Everybody out there running your own wiki for this shit. If it's not full size, high res,
yeah.
I'm gonna find you. All right. I know you're paying for server space somewhere. I'm going to find you.
Yeah. So this is the Famicom. It was the Super Smash Brothers Ultimate with the Famicom colors. But so the ROB, this is one of the reasons that Nintendo broke into the American market and saved the video game industry in America. So
it's a dumb fucking robot.
Technically, kind of, not because it was great, because it was shit, but
you don't say.
So when the gaming market crashed in the early 80s, 83, like we all
Atari,
y'all see the Atari, y'all know the ET game and everything.
When Atari buried all those game cartridges in the New Mexico desert.
They were just building up, they were just making shit to make shit, and everything crashed, and a lot of people were like, okay, video games are dead. Video games are not a thing that we're going to do. So when Nintendo wanted to break into the American market with the Famicom, which was then the NES in America, they decided to pack it in with this ROB robot that plugged into it. And it was their way of saying, no, this isn't a video game. The video game market crashed. We're not selling you a video game. We're selling you a toy. So put this in your toy aisles. And it would be the ROB with the NES, and I believe it. I'm not sure if it did yet. It came with a game. I'm not sure if it was Super Mario Brothers at that time, or just not Mario Brothers, but But the ROB was Nintendo's way of getting the consoles back into the stores, into the toy market.
Okay.
To then to be like, yeah, let us sell this as a toy, and then we'll sell the software as well. You know, the cart's in there as well,
Yeah.
and their their idea was that it would be so popular with the video games themselves would start to sell this thing. So the ROB itself, the Rob, was essentially just put in there to make it look like, oh yeah, this is the toy that you're gonna buy, and it has this thing, but yeah, you're buying the robot.
Yeah, you're buying the
You know.
robot.
Yeah.
You're buying a robot that happens to have this other thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So yeah, the ROB and the Rob and the NES are the saviors of the video game market in America.
Yep.
Because without this,
Nintendo-
Nintendo wouldn't have been able to put the console in stores because stores thought video games were dead and they didn't want them. But
Yeah,
they sell
have
toys all the
nothing to do
time.
with them.
It also is, unfortunately, one of the reasons that you have for a long time, and it's starting to kind of wane away now, just now. But the whole idea of video games are for boys and like boys' toys and girls' toys, because when they had to put this into the stores and they were like, where should we put it? They said, okay, put it next to like the GI Joes and these toys where you're like doing more
Transformers
action
and the
thingies.
other. Yeah.
Exactly. So it was put into the boys' toys category, which led to the perception of video games being for boys for a long, long time.
Oh yeah.
And there are still some fucking dumb cunts online that think that women shouldn't play video games. It's for boys.
Yeah. Yeah. These are. I could go off. Not gonna. I could.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
But yeah,
Man.
so while it was,
Yeah.
obviously great for the video game market in America and the world, did set some things back unintentionally.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, so now Rob is pretty much just known as a thing that's in Smash Brothers.
Yep. Nintendo smartened up and realized if they're really going to capture the American market, they needed to put something in the box that Americans really like. A gun.
Exactly. Fucking Duck Hunt.
It's the most American shit ever. Just be like, hey, here's a video game and a gun. Have fun.
Yeah. Compatible games communicate through optical flashes that appear on the screen. Yeah, so yeah, the ROB was not great,
No.
function-wise,
But again-
but very, very important in the history of video games, especially in America.
Yeah. Yeah, again, like the first thing doesn't have to
Yeah.
it just has to move the world forward. Like
It
the
has
first
to-
iPhone.
Yeah, the first iPhone is
Yeah,
shit now, but
Yeah. And even at the time, like so many people were just like this dumb fucking thing.
yeah, it's like, why
But-
do I want my iPod to have a phone in it? This is, yeah,
Yeah, like why aren't there any buttons on it? Phones have buttons. And here we are. Everybody's got a fucking touchscreen phone.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like it wasn't great, but it moved the world forward, and that's what Rob did.
it got their foot in the door,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were able to kick it down with, just games.
Monkey and an Italian guy and
Yeah, yeah.
a weird little elf guy.
So there's one other thing on this list that you can see, Mike. I don't know if you're looking at it, but
Oh, I am. I
there's
am.
one other thing on this list that I don't have a link for a reason.
I have a much better version of that thing in the sense
sure?
that it is a real thing.
No, this one's better. So this last peripheral,
Oh
and
my
this is
God.
definitely for visual. This is for people watching it.
This is.
Is-
Oh.
This dumbass.
How long have you had this fucking thing?
That's how long. Can you see the
I mean, I
acid
see
breaking through?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's probably not usable anymore.
Enough.
It might.
Clean it with some rubbing alcohol. It'll bring a lot of it back.
So we actually bought this. I say we. Once again, our friend Nick bought this because it was at our friend's video game store for like stupid cheap for this with the game, like brand new. And we bought it because we're like,
And
you gotta.
and for our listeners out there, it is the dumb fucking Tony Hawk skateboard controller thing for
Yeah.
Tony Hawk's The Cash Train has
This
finally
is
gone off the rails.
So there was Tony Hawk Ride, which was the first one, and then Tony Hawk Shred, which was the second one, and that's what this one came with, was Shred.
Okay.
So this is supposed to be the better one.
All I remember from these is like pro skateboarders getting them and just being like, this is the dumbest shit ever. And then like posting videos of them on like Instagram and Vine of them like doing kickflips and 360 flips and shit and being like, this is fucking dumb.
Yeah. So if you can see,
so
you've got like sensors on the back, on the front, on the sides, and then because this was a 360 one,
ooh,
you have the 360 controls on the side.
Why?
So what the idea was is you turn the game on, and then you use these buttons to, do the menu and like, open up, select the level, select whatever skater is going to, look at you on screen. But if I remember correctly, you couldn't get into the game without having an Xbox controller.
I was about to say, like, why put those on there when you need this to do anything?
Like, you need it. So you'd think, theoretically, okay, I'm gonna connect it, I'm gonna plug it in. It's, I've got it. It's connected. I can grab the controller and be like, okay, yeah, I want to go, down to the menu, hit A, blah blah blah, and I'm good. And then I pop it on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
You had to like be able like be touching the controller as this is on the ground, and you're like setting it up to be able to do anything, because it was like press A to start, and then have it on the ground, and we're gonna make sure that your feet are in the right. Like, it was
Jesus Christ,
the worst fucking design. The sensors were dog shit.
You don't say.
It did not fucking. This thing was awful. This thing was fucking terrible. But I'm never getting rid of this because this controller is so fucking dumb. I'm fairly certain I should still have the game.
Oh my.
Itself. But it's a 360 game. I don't have a 360 anymore. But yeah, we did attempt to play it one time. Because, and this was actually, oddly enough, it was right before they announced the Tony Hawk's 1 and 2 remake that they did a few years ago. Like, about a month or two before that, I don't know why. Out of nowhere, Nick, who used to live with me, he and I were just like, hey, what if we just went and bought every Tony Hawk game and played all of them? So I went to the game store, bought, I think it was like the 1 and 2 HD bundle or something, so we had that, and then we bought 3 for the PS2, and then hooked the PS2 up to the TV, and like, just all of them, and played the entire series up through... I don't think we played Proving Ground, because I don't think we could find a good copy of it. Either Proving Ground or Project 8. But yeah, we just played through each of like the mainline games and ended on Shred and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 5.
Jesus.
Yeah. And
amazing.
I believe when we got to like 3 or 4 is when they had announced they were doing the Tony Hawk's 1 and 2, and they were like, "Oh, fuck it. Yeah, let's just keep playing these." And we'll probably finish when that comes out. And then when that came out, we took the next day off work, and decided to just treat it like, the old days. Bought the game, ordered a giant fucking big New Yorker from Pizza Hut because they just had come back, got a couple of 2 liters of Mountain Dew, and just stayed up all night and fucking played the whole goddamn game.
Hell yeah. Man. That is amazing.
Yeah. So... But, yeah. Friends, I mean, Mike, do you have any other that you've got close to you?
I mean,
maybe, or anything you got on your mind?
I mean, it's not dumb and it's not like weird or anything, but I remember for like 360 and then the Xbox One, the controllers still used batteries. The wireless ones, they used batteries.
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't dumb, but it was just those little aftermarket rechargeable battery packs, and the dumb little
It's my
stand.
Series S controller. Yeah.
Oh,
And that's what I've got in the back of this, is the
Ooh.
rechargeable. Because this stays in my office here, because this is for my Office Series S, which sounds bougie, but those things are cheap as fuck, and it's on a payment plan anyway. So I just have the cable plugged into the Xbox. Anytime it starts to die, I just plug it in.
yeah,
But,
same. I mean,
yeah.
I don't have those. I've got these. I bought a ton of these Panasonic Eneloop, like rechargeable AA's that I primarily use for like my camera stuff. But, for this thing, this is my Series S controller. But as you can see, it's plugged in. It's currently plugged into my PC because this thing needs a micro USB cable, and all the ones I have are dog shit.
Yeah, it's fair.
So, yeah, nothing like hearing your PC like do the ping and sad ping of something being plugged in and unplugged when you're about to start a mission in a game and realize, oh no.
Hearing the USB. Da-ding. Oh, fuck. Da-ding. Okay. Da-ding. Fuck.
Yeah, in just rapid succession. It's like, well, I've got a bad USB port. There's something up with the port on the controller, or more obviously, it's the fucking cable.
So,
Ta-da.
does it charge it? No.
No.
Does it get in the
Doesn't
way if I
have to.
want to charge it? A little bit. Is it adorable?
1,000%. Aw, second cutest thing on the screen.
Besides you.
Hey. I see what you did there.
Speaking of Fallout, I mean, we had that good conversation last week about Fallout London. I don't know if you've tried it out yet.
No, I haven't. I have to get Fallout 4 on my PC and then do all of that. And that's I'm gonna keep it real here. I'm gonna keep it a buck. Yeah, man, I am barely getting through a game I pre-ordered and got when it was, brand spanking new. So yeah, I think Fallout London might be a when Mike hits the lottery, when Mike gets a little bit more PTO banked.
Fair enough.
Takes time off.
I will say, like I said last week, but I'll say it again. It was kind of a pain to get it installed because I wanted to save some money, so I did it the hard way. But once I got it installed, and there was like a second mod that they were like, okay, if you're having a crash at this specific point, you need this other mod, like just because. Most people had the crash, so some people didn't, but most people did.
Okay.
So then once I got that second thing installed, I really haven't had many more issues than like a normal Bethesda game. A little more slowdown at times. But yeah, it's, and I'm having a fucking good ass time.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So tried to help Greg Miller get his working on the Kinda Funny stream as we're recording this today, and he fucking went off on goddamn PC gamers in the chat, and it was hilarious.
The hell did we do?
They were being dumb fucks in the chat, and they were just like, "Why can't you figure this out?" Because he does not play PC games at all.
God damn it!
And he'd never modded a game. And
no, that's just hard.
Like, part of his character is that he fucking hates PC gaming, and he calls PC gamers pedophiles. It's funny, but yeah,
Uncalled for. Hurtful.
But yeah, they installed the mod, did not realize that they needed this second mod for it, so the game kept crashing. And then there was somebody in the chat who was like, "Oh yeah, to fix that, you have to open up the base game of Fallout 4 and change your graphics settings, and that's the only way it'll fix it," which is not the case. So then he did that, figured out how to do that, then the game crashed again. And he was just like, "What the fuck?" And he was like getting mad at this like one guy who kept saying dumb shit.
I get that. No, fuck. There's a lot of PC gamers out there that I fucking hate.
Yeah. So I just started spamming in the chat a YouTube video of like, you need to install this mod. This video is 5 minutes long. Watch it, follow it. It's real easy to follow. Just boom, boom, boom until he saw it and he was like, "Oh, let me try this." Fixed it.
Nice. Good job. Good job, buddy. Way to help out.
Yeah. But that was the easy version of the game. Yeah. We'll go back and listen to last week, and I can talk about the story of how I got it installed on mine. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Before anybody asks, yes, this all grew in a week.
Yes.
All right.
Yep.
It is how it is. It's the Italian in me. I can't. It just shows up, you know.
Yeah, as this is going up, I might be on my way back to Utah, but I mean, I'll say it. Fucking Green Day last night was dope as shit.
Hell yeah, brother!
Great show. Green Day, Rancid. Smashing Pumpkins was there. Yeah.
You see our close personal friend Brandon Steinekert? Say hi to him.
Saw a good personal friend Brandon Steinekert on the drum set. Way the fuck out there in Fenway.
He has intersected my life in two ways, and I don't understand fucking how. Realistically, well,
Yeah.
3 ways.
The golden rule. Yeah, Mike. Yeah. What are you doing this week? You've been streaming a little bit more, right?
Yeah, I've been streaming a little bit more, trying to do twice a week. Like Mondays and Thursdays feels right, you know.
Yep.
Gives me time to record this podcast with your handsome ass, and also get a dedicated gym day in.
Yeah.
So I've been streaming Armored Core. We're probably going to keep doing that, just because I have done online multiplayer stuff. My network is good enough to do it, but also I don't want to like have a choppy, shitty stream or have like choppy, super laggy gameplay, because sometimes it does take a minute for things on my end to even out. Playing Rocket League with the last iteration of the Nerding for Beginners crew, and I love that I have different versions of the Nerding for Beginners crew. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, the first few games of Rocket League we played, I was super laggy. Like I was getting the constant warning of like, your ping's too high. It's like, I know, I'm trying to fix it.
Why? I'm not trying for it to be.
I really don't mean for it to be, but here I am. So yeah. So that's why I'm kind of sticking to single player stuff, you know, and also that's mostly what I have in my backlog.
Mm-hmm.
I figure I'll work through it, you know, do that. So,
I mean, you know me. I loved me some fucking single player games. No offense to anybody, but I fucking hate playing video games with other people.
With the right people, it's great. With most of the other people, it is just soul crushing.
Yeah.
So anyway, twitch.tv/nerding for beginners, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, just because, you know, I'm also trying to get 2 gym days in.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, why the hell not? So, yeah, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, usually stream for a couple hours, maybe a little longer, like we did with the 2 weeks ago. I had to think about that. Armored Core stream, where I farmed a bunch of credits, farmed a bunch of currency in the game to buy a bunch of new weapons so I could beat what I thought was the boss for the chapter. Turns out it was not. So, now I have a bunch of Armored Core 6 farming memes that I made, thinking this was going to take weeks, and alas, it only took a day. So, join the Nerding for Beginners Discord. I'll probably dump them in there. So, there you go, folks.
If you can see my screen, I'm not just looking at this Twitter page for Alyssa Mercante for picture. This is actually what I'm looking for. August 3rd. So it's after this. So I mean, I'll try to remember it last week too. Last week?
Okay.
Tomorrow for last week. Yeah. On August 3rd, there was a big stream, a big like streamathon auction. All proceeds go to, I think, Trans Lifeline. I'll talk about that again last week. So tomorrow, but last week, yeah. But that is on August 3rd. So I wasn't sure if it was this week or last week. Yeah. So,
All right.
but I wanted to bring that up
Hell
because
yeah.
we talked about you mentioned long streams, and I was like, oh yeah, it's
Yes.
going to be, it's a streamathon.
Yeah, that's going to be a thing.
Long streams in November, is that Extra Life?
Yes, that is Extra Life. So that's a thing. I gotta set up Team Nerding for Beginners again, or I don't know. We could set up Team Story Motors, something, whatever.
I mean, yeah, I'm definitely down to do a stream. Do you know the exact date on that?
Give me 2 seconds and I can look it up.
All right, never mind. If it's in November, it's too late.
November 2nd.
Yeah, so I was gonna say, oh, maybe I'll do like Metaphor Refantasio, like start that on it, because if I have to wait a day or something, but that comes out October 11th, and I'm not gonna wait a fucking month for that.
Absolutely not. You should not do that.
But yeah, I want to do something cool for Extra Life. I know you've done it in the past, so
I've done it a bunch in the past.
Yeah.
I still have my gold medal when I actually hit my goal and raised, I think, over $1,000 or something like that.
Yeah, so we'll start getting started on that. I mean, I'd be down to do like a Team Story Motors, so we can try to see if any of our friends that have been on the pod before want to join in.
Yeah, any of the old like NFB crew for sure. I know they'd want to hop on, so we could definitely get some shenanigans going. Because boy, if you watch any of the old Nerding for Beginners Extra Life stream, it's 1,000% shenaniganry. So,
well, my beer is done.
So is mine.
I think that is time to call it here. All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Thank you all for hanging out. Follow us on YouTube, Story Motors Podcast, Twitter, Story Motors Pod. Follow our fucking Discords. Mine and then his.
Yep.
But follow us on Twitch as well, Nerding for Beginners for Mike. I am Mr_Hawks182. I'm going to turn on the outro music now, but follow us on your favorite podcasting services. Give us a thumbs up, give us a 5-star rating. It really helps to try to get the word out. We're trying to build this up as much as we can. Give it a like,
leave
on
us a
YouTubes
review
and everything.
Yes.
Reviews.
Yep.
Money.
Sweet. Yep. I mean,